Oh, wow. That was wonderful. That was wonderful. Thank you, Juan. That was the amazing Juan Perez, as you may have guessed. Oh no, now I just lost him. Hold on a second. And by the way, I'm going to be recording this session. Of course, we want to capture this for posterity. So by virtue of joining us today, you are agreeing to be recorded. One second, I've lost, I've got to go back to gallery for a second. There you are. And by the way, my name is Deborah Wong. I'm going to be somewhat clumsily emceeing and clicking on things and hopefully making the magic happen as we proceed. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. And it's just so beautiful to see all your faces, so many faces, so many friends from near and from far. You are here today to celebrate with us the release of Nobuko Miyamoto's new album, 120,000 Stories. We'll tell you more about it in just a few moments. But we very much want to thank Smithsonian Folkways for putting this album out. It will drop on January 29th. Just a few days ago, the first pre-release single came out, and it is that song we're going to talk about today, the song titled, "What Time Is It on the Clock of the World?" There is going to be a Q&A discussion at the end. We figure this event will be about an hour long, and we hope that the last 15 minutes or so will be a chance for you to, speak up, ask questions, give Nobuko and Juan your good wishes. We invite you to use the chat throughout the event. Like I say, we are doing this basically from the front porch, so there are no elves or assistants behind the scenes. It's all me clicking things. So I may not see everything that's going on, and at certain points I may swoop in and do things like, mute you if needed. But we've got some really good stuff to share with you. First, let me introduce our two stars today. That is Nobuko Miyamoto and Juan Perez, who are going to talk about the song that they wrote together. But let me first invite Nobuko to come on and tell us a bit about this album, this double album.
Wow. Well, I'm really pleased and overjoyed, really, to be able to share this music with you. It's been a long time coming. I haven't made an album in a really, really long time, a solo album. And to have this opportunity as sort of an elder who's been working for a long, long time, uh, to be able to present not only a collection, actually, the Smithsonian asked me at first to to have a collection of songs that were already recorded, that were part of albums that I've done in the past. And then when I thought about it, I said, I'm still writing music and I'm still doing work, and I'd like to uh, include new songs. So they said, okay. So we did a half one disc is songs collected from music that I've recorded from as early as 1973, so almost 50 years, to to the present. And so the new songs that we recorded in the last year are included in this and the second disc. And first, I want to thank Deb Wong and Sojin Kim and Quetzal Flores, who really made this album possible through the Smithsonian. And that means that this music will be preserved as long as there's a Smithsonian, and that this music will be part of the larger canon of American music, which is sort of rare for Asian Americans. We're not known to have, most people don't know that there is Asian American music. And until Chris and I started writing songs in 1970, really people, our own community had not heard us sing our own songs. So we just happened to be there at that moment as activists. and with stories that we needed to tell, with feelings that we wanted to express. And so we started writing songs, and this was in 1970. So a few of the songs in the album will come from that era. And then I would like to thank um uh, Quetzal and Derek Nakamoto for being the producers of this album and making the music really sing, and
Mm,
um, and putting together musicians that you're going to hear one of them today,
mm,
who added to the creativity of the album and the sounds of the album, and to making it really a special, for me, a special experience, because I hadn't recorded as a soloist for a long, long time. And also, I had never played piano for myself with other musicians. So in this album, I'm going to be uh, the first time playing a few songs that actually I composed on the piano. And I was forced to go in the studio uh, and work with these marvelous musicians, and which really pushed me to my playing and my to the limits of my confidence to create a new batch of songs. So anyway, so this I'm glad that the first song is a song that is really has a larger meaning for all of us human beings on the planet right now, uh, and that the inspiration for it really came from two people. One is Juan Perez, sound, and the other one is Grace Lee Boggs. And Grace Lee Boggs is one of my mentors in Detroit, and she was instrumental in engaging me with the struggles in Detroit to respirit and recreate Detroit through gardens, through organic gardens, and that awoke me to the necessity for us to look at this whole planet that we're living on and how we are integrated into part of the ecosystem of this planet, and how we must pay attention right now, especially uh, to this existential threat that we're facing. Besides coronavirus, besides racism, we have um, planet global warming. So I want to introduce to you Juan Perez, who you already heard his sounds, who brought this instrument and this uh, his invention and his music into this space and where I heard it. And I just want you to meet Juan because he's one of the people that when I heard him play with Quetzal's group, that I said, gee, I would really love to play with a great bass player like him. And here I got my chance. So,
Nobuko, may I ask you, how did you and Juan meet to begin with? Do you
oh,
even remember?
it's through Quetzal.
Through Quetzal.
Quetzal and I, well, actually, Quetzal, Martha, and I worked on a music video together about the environment, about bicycling,
Hmm.
and
Cycles of change.
cycles of change. And this was a series of videos that Great Leap produced to start addressing climate change from the point of view of people of color. So we tried to engage with ideas, traditions, and lifestyles of people from our communities. And so, in making this video, it was the first time that we had ever worked together, Quetzal and family.
Mm.
And and he, after we finished the video, invited me to a fandango class that he was teaching. And fandango is a traditional form from Veracruz, Mexico, that is participatory. So music is created by people who are ordinary citizens who learn to play this small guitar called a jarana, and they stand in a circle around a platform called a tarima, in which dancers come forward and stomp out rhythms, and that is sort of like becomes the drum. And so when I saw this, I said, "Oh my gosh, this is like my form from my Japanese tradition, which I've written songs for. But we dance around a platform, and the musicians stand on it. And this form is called obon, and it's a remembrance of our ancestors that we do in the summertime, late summertime. So when I saw him, I was at this rehearsal that they were doing. I said, I wonder what would have happened if we combined fandango and obon. And Quetzal said yes. And so that started a collaboration on a single song, which exploded into a festival, which has now gone on for 8 years
Years.
in, in Little Tokyo
Mm,
in Los Angeles, bringing together the Mexican, Japanese, and African and Sufi Muslim community together into one circle to share their dance and music traditions. So in that process, I met Juan, and heard him play, and actually I heard him play on this instrument, the Turbo Didley, and but we also traveled to Washington D.C. For the Folklife Festival, the Smithsonian Folklife Festival, and we took Fandango Bone there. So
mm.
um, I had been playing with him, but not really in a very more intimate setting. So
Exactly. That's what I'm feeling too. Is like, Juan, I have seen you play so many times over the years, but I mean, I'm reasonably shy. I've never actually talked with you until we were getting ready for this event. So I'm a little bit starstruck, quite frankly,
Yeah.
to be spending time with you. I so admire your musicality. You're a core member of Quetzal, the band Quetzal. You're always there holding it down, on bass and various instruments. Yeah, so I'm just, everybody, what we're doing today is we're celebrating the release of Nobuko Miyamoto's double album, 120,000 Stories from Smithsonian Folkways, and we're trying to whet your appetites as if you needed that. I know you don't, but we're going to draw you into the album today by looking at one of the songs on it, one out of 25 songs or something. I forget how many. It's a double album. This is only one. And if you pre-order the album, you will actually get a free download of this particular track. Now, I was fortunate enough to be in the studio about a year ago when Nobuko and Juan, other musicians, recorded this song. We spent a long, happy afternoon watching Juan play the core lick of this song on his instrument. Now, I'm going to ask you all how you actually created this song together, but Juan, could grab your Turbo Didley again and play for us the core driving melody that you play in the song? Yeah. Such an amazing,
Something like that.
it's so groovy. It has such a rootsy soul feeling to it, doesn't it? I mean, there's so many histories and sounds coming through that. You wrote that melody. That was the origin of this song, as I understand it, right?
Yes, yes.
How did you, how'd that happen? Tell us more.
How did it come out?
Yeah.
I don't know. It came from an inspiration. I had rehearsed with Nobuko and Derek, one of the first initial rehearsals to get together and kind of, conceptually talk about what the music was going to be. So, we got through that rehearsal. I came home and I picked up this instrument and I had my phone with me. And, sometimes inspiration, you don't know where it comes from. So when it hits, as fast as it hits, it goes away. So luckily we have our
Yeah.
phones, right? We record our ideas, right? And so that came out that inspiration came out. I recorded it, didn't think much about it, and I didn't get back to it for maybe a couple of days. And I
Oh.
went back to listen to it, and I was like, oh wow, that sounds like a piece, you know.
Hmm.
So I presented it to Derek and Nobuko and asked if this would be something they would be interested in doing. So subconsciously, it came from Nobuko, hanging out with her and listening to her stories, listening to how her and Derek have, you know, their collaboration,
Hmm.
their chemistry, right? Because when you get together with people,
Yeah, chemistry.
it doesn't always work out, right? You
Yeah.
know, coming from a musician's point of view, sometimes the chemistry it's so paramount that you can have these conversations without even speaking a word
Hmm.
to each other. And there's other times where you get together and there's something there that's keeping people from connecting. So you know, it's all about chemistry. So I felt very comfortable around Nobuko, and so that came out. That came out directly from her, you know, from the
Hmm.
ether, right, as they say. So,
Hmm.
it came out of an inspiration. So she had a lot to do with it in that regard, you know.
But you
So
know, usually when I heard it, when you brought it to me and said, "Can you do something with this?" Usually, when I start writing a piece, music and words together. They just sort of just come together, maybe a phrase, and then after that, I have to start working on it. But this was something that he had the music already laid out, and I was trying to see what I could sort of what picked up the spirit of this music, but
Hmm.
also, you know, how I could mix words with it. And so that was
Hmm.
a very different kind of approach for me as a writer.
Hmm.
Um, but I love the spirit of it. And then all of a sudden, I just got this flash of this phrase that Grace Lee Boggs would use when she first would open a speech, and
Hmm.
she would like go to a university and say, "What time is it on the clock of the world?"
Hmm.
And that's how she would start and get people thinking about, okay, what time is it? What is this moment for?
Hmm.
And then so obviously it's about the environment. And so the song is basically very simple, and words are very direct and very plain. I mean, it
Hmm.
really lays out what's going on with the earth and the climate
Right.
and the disaster that we're in, but also the spirit of these young people at Standing Rock and the Sunrise Movement, etc., who are rising up to meet this occasion. And so somehow this whole thing just came together through this sound of this instrument, which also,
Hmm.
Juan, you could break down what this instrument is, which is a
Yes, please.
upcycled, an upcycled cigar box. So on top of it, on top of a the idea that we have to recycle, reuse, etc., this instrument itself is something that has been recycled and re upcycled into something meaningful and beautiful and useful. So maybe
Show us
Juan.
the instrument. Yeah. Yeah. Let me make you big
so
there.
can you all see this?
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's a little bit of printing here from the manufacturer. This box is probably over 100 years old. It's a cigar box from the Dominican Republic.
Huh.
And the guy who built it, he's a friend of mine. His name is Kurt Shane. He lives in Walla Walla, Washington, way up north. And this was his hobby. He's a UPS pilot, so he travels all over the world delivering goods, a big jumbo jet. And so in the meantime, he probably goes wandering off to pawn shops or antique shops or maybe even the trash, you know, and he finds these little
Hmm.
gems, right? And so you can see here the seam where the box would open up, and here would be the latch. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, he's very much an artisan, as you can see. So he put these brass protective corners, some decorative binding, these little funny little F holes, and this resonator made out of tin, like pot metal. It helps produce the sound. And so, as you can see, he made everything by hand. And so, when I met him through another mutual friend of ours who had one of these, I was like, "What is this, man? I gotta get one." And so I got one, and it's been my go-to away from the bass world. You know, everyone knows me from playing bass, but I use this to escape the bass world. You know, and I'm able to write different kinds of songs with it. It's tuned GD. I really like the way that sounds. You can tune it however you want. I've had different people that play different instruments play it, and their personality comes out on the instrument. And so, going back to this piece and having the inspiration come out, as Nobuko said, it is kind of a cheerful, lively instrument. Some people get it confused for a banjo or a mandolin, but as you can see, it's a cigar box. And he calls this a Turbo Didley, kind of as an homage to Boyle Didley, because he played a rectangular guitar. So he calls these instruments Turbo Didleys, but it's a cigar box.
Is that a top to a pan? The actual
it kind of looks like it, right? Well, he made it. Yeah,
top to a pan, right?
It's the same material used in pot metal, yes, for pans.
Yeah.
So it's a real thin piece of metal, as you can see. And he just kind of punched holes to make it look really pretty, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a resonator. So I don't know if you can see inside, but it helps make the sound really come out of this little box, you know? But he's gotten really good at making them, you know? So I got this several years ago, and it's kind of been my secret little, you know, getaway from what I'm known for. So it's my own little paradise in a box, you know?
Wow. I just, wait a minute, I'm trying to get this spotlight thing going off. Wait. At any rate, the Turbo Didley, it's astonishingly loud, I have to say.
Yes, for being a smaller instrument, right?
Right? Yeah. For a small instrument, I mean, it's an acoustic instrument. It is loud. Yeah.
Definitely 100% acoustic. There's no pickup in here. So the further away you stand, the louder it gets.
Wow. Know? Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So are we going to hear the song now?
I think it's time. Do you think? And then I can get all my pins and spotlights straight again. Everybody, there's a music video for this, as well as the free download of the song from Smithsonian Folkways if you buy the album. But for now, I think it's time to go to the music video of What Time Is It on the Clock of the World. 1 second here.
Oh, let me just say one thing about this.
Sure, of course.
Done a few days after when we couldn't go out anymore, and so it was the first sort of adopted to working in a different way. The video was made really. We shot it in about 3 hours, and most of it in my backyard, and then in a park. We had to distance. We had one camera person. He had no lighting person, nothing. Just one camera in the yard, you know, for a little while. Then we ran to the park together, and that's how it was done. So it was really done on the fly and in an editing room. And so it was a first response to COVID.
Wow. And the music video filmmaker is Ken Honjo, yes?
Honjo.
Okay, cool. All right, let's watch this. Here we go. what a good song. Oh my goodness, what a good song. And among other things, what I love so much about it, and I'm still trying to get my pen straight here, everybody. Among other things that I love about it is that it just draws together so much of your history, Nobuko. I mean, it's like it's both it's your urban environmentalism, right there, your concern over global warming and your certainty that urban environmentalism and urban gardening is going to be a way to address those issues. There is so much going on in this song. I would love to hear the two of you talk a little bit together about, if I can just find Nobuko again, to talk about Boyle Heights a little bit, because listening to the two of you, Nobuko and Juan, talking about your love of and commitment to Boyle Heights as a neighborhood, as a community, has been just like so beautiful.
Well, let me just one of the title of the album, 120,000 Stories, of course, is based on the number of people, Japanese Americans, that were put in concentration camps during World War II. and but it's also the idea that there are so many stories that we haven't told that need to be told, especially amongst people of color, that have been left out of the great American storybook.
Mm,
And so I really, and of course the music, the songs that have been left out of it.
mm,
So that's why it really gives me extra pleasure to be able to collaborate with somebody like uh, Juan and Quetzal and Derek and others who have contributed towards this album and made it truly a an international project, because so many of the songs, uh, yes, it's about many of the songs were about being Asian American, being Japanese American, but also how we connected across cultural borders
mm,
to strengthen our voices and to understand each other's stories.
mm,
And working with Juan and rehearsing together, I was able to hear some of the stories that he grew up with and some of the crossing of borders that he did in a place called Boyle Heights, which it happens to, after the war, when we came back. Boyle Heights was the first place that my parents had their first apartment of their own in
mm,
1947. Before that time, we had lived in the camp. We had traveled as refugees in, different areas, either in with living in barracks or somebody's borrowed rooms. And so this place, Boyle Heights, was the first place we had our own space, and in a place that offered us fantastic food. It was a colorful place. It was like coming into a Technicolor movie,
mm,
there was chilies and music and different kinds of clothing. My mother loved to go to cross the bridge and take me to Olvera Street and into the stores and seeing all of these crafts and and Little Tokyo, etc. We were right there in the hub, and so and also Boyle Heights was a place that I started going to a dance school, so that it also the first place where I began to have an expression of my own as a child. So Quetzal actually asked me to write another song for a project for ACTA, the Alliance for California Traditional Arts, has made a project that talks about the stories of Boyle Heights. And of course, most of the writers of these songs are Chicano, Mexican American, etc. But he invited me to do this. And so I started thinking again about this experience of living there and then I got to talk to Juan about his experience in Boyle Heights, which is a place he's lived all of his life, and and how he started. So explain first how you got started in music in Boyle Heights, because I thought
Hmm.
that was so interesting. You're a Jewish music teacher.
Yes, I was 7 years old when I started learning how to play music, and it was one of those things where, in elementary school, they would give you these documents to have your parents sign and bring it back. And once you get it back, you get a little star next to your name. I had no stars next to my name, so I figured, oh, I got a few up there, right? So in this document, it pretty much said if you want your son or daughter to learn how to play an instrument, and pick the instrument. And so my mom picked the instrument, and then she signed it. I brought it back and turned it into the teacher, and I got a star, and that was great. I had no idea what the document said, and so I remember it was a Wednesday morning. I got asked to go to the auditorium, and so I went. And when I walked in, I was given a violin. What the heck is this, right? So that's kind of how it started. And I was 7 years old in the second grade when I started to play music.
Wow.
So
That's a blessing. Yeah,
very lucky,
yeah. That was
very
it.
lucky.
And so
Wow.
tell us about this teacher. What was her name?
This woman's name was Evelyn Kane.
Hmm.
Evelyn Kane. She was a wonderful teacher, brutal teacher. You
Hmm.
know, hardcore disciplinary. But I'll give you an example how the kind of discipline that she threw at us. So school started around 8:10, 8:15 in the morning. We had to be in the auditorium, ready to rehearse by 7:15 every day.
Wow.
And I never went to recess, never went to lunch recess, and every day after school for about 3 to 4 hours we practiced. So that was 5 days a week through my elementary years, sir. Yeah, it was pretty rough in that regard. Thinking back at it now, but when you're a child and they tell you to do and you do it, you don't ask why, you just do it. But it was cool because I made friends there and we had little cliques, and so it was a lot of fun. It was a whole lot of fun, you know.
Hmm.
But at the same time, we're getting trained in the art of music, right? And a lot of hours behind the instrument. You don't have that anymore in the schools. It's all gone. You know, back then it was very
Hmm.
abundant. You know,
It's funny because I was 7 also when I started dancing, and the school was called the West Coast Studio of Music and of Dance, and it was a Jewish woman, Mrs. Gelman, in Boyle Heights, who taught that at that school, and that changed my life also at that age. And
Wow.
it's amazing. And still, to me, Boyle Heights is a very culturally rich place. I mean, it's just a place that clings to culture. I think the murals, the music, the sense of belonging. It's a really an amazing place. But
They,
then, uh, Juan, you told me that not only did you have the Jewish teacher, you also had a Japanese neighbor who owned the market next door to your house, and that was influential on you as well.
yes, it was. So when I would come home, and school was only 3 blocks away, so I would
Hmm.
walk with my violin. My mom didn't get home until about 7:30 at night every day. So I had a few hours to kill. I was like a latchkey kid, right?
Hmm.
So I would hang out at this little store, which is only like 5 feet away from my house, and it was owned by these two wonderful uh, people named John and Helen, and they were Japanese, and they would always welcome me. So I had a chair in this store for me. It was my chair, and I could sit in it, and I could just hang out. We could talk, we could not talk. I could just watch the people coming in and out. So basically, I was just
Hmm.
observing what's going on. Having these people come in and out, buying cases of beer, loaves of bread, eggs, whatever. Little mini conversations amongst themselves, and as soon as they would leave, I would dart in and out in conversation with these two wonderful people. And they would tell me stories about themselves and how they met. They met when they were 12, 13 years old in the camps here in California.
Hmm.
And that was the first time I heard of the word concentration camp for the Japanese Americans. And I remember them talking about how they would make the best of it, play ball, play hide and seek, play tag, and they created their own world in there. But they were very young too. I'm not quite sure if they're aware of what was going on because they've had their friends there too, and so I'm sure their parents protected them from all that was going on. But as soon as they got out, they hooked up, and they got together, and they got married very young, and they started a business in this little store market next door. It's called the OK Market, and they were there for over 50 years.
Wow.
So I kind of grew up in this little store.
And they fed you bologna sandwiches after school also, right?
Yeah, it was they had little mini delis, so you could buy a couple slices of bread, mayonnaise, mustard, the lunch meats for about $1, and those little mini Cokes. I don't know if you remember those
Oh
little
my
mini Coke
God,
cans.
yeah.
The little mini Coke cans. They're like about like
Right.
so big, you know. And so yeah, on the counter they had donuts, a big jar of pig's feet, and pickle juice. They had you could find everything there, that you needed.
So
And
I
yeah,
love these stories. I love these stories. And I mean, it's so beautiful that, like, Nobuko, you were, living in and spending time in Boyle Heights, right after World War II, right? Post incarceration, right? Late 1940s, give or take. Juan, you were growing up there in the 1980s, give or take. So I mean, there's different times that you were there, but this community remains so rich and vibrant and full of connection, right?
and it still does. It
Yeah.
still does. I mean, it's a place when I go there, still get that same feeling of connection and just connectivity, in that area,
Activity.
which is rare in LA to have that sense of, you're in another world in itself.
Wow. And Juan, I mean, I have such respect for the fact that this is your community. This is where you've lived, as Nobuko said, all of your life, give or take. Yeah.
my whole life, yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to share another song, another music video. And folks, I should warn you that this one is not on the forthcoming album, but we really wanted to share it with you to show a number of things. First of all, the kind of ongoing collaborations between Nobuko, Juan, Quetzal, and this whole circle of amazing kind of East LA, Little Tokyo musicians in the greater LA area. It's such a rich network of artists, activists, culture makers, and so this next song is evidence of that. It's titled Boyle Heights, and I think you should bring us into it, Nobuko.
Maybe we won't show the whole thing because it's about 5 minutes long, but
Okay,
maybe 2.5 minutes just to get a sense of a few of the verses.
sure.
And it's a story again. It's a story of it explains itself.
And I should say that this is part of a bigger project. It's one song out of, I don't know, about 10 songs, I think, put together, commissioned, I should say, by the Alliance for California Traditional Arts. And it's a project overseen, as I understand it, by Quetzal Flores, and it's called Sounds of California. So this is, again, just to whet your interest and your appetite.
Boyle Heights is a place of bridges, stories crossing, stories never end. From a broken past into the future, Boyle Heights, a place we're free again, free again, free again. In 1942, they swept us, took us to a desert ghetto. 4 years they kept us, and now we're back to start from zero. Mom's happy, sewing curtains, stitching up a home. Daddy trucks across the bridge, planting flowers, cutting lawns. colors. Boyle Heights, where strangers become friends. From other worlds we meet across our fences. Boyle Heights, a place to dream again. Dream again. Dream again. Buddha heads and Pachucos, shiny blue Chevys passing by. Garcias and Miyamotos in evergreen, side by side. Brown and yellow girls, Ocha and Sanse, ballet shoes and pink tights. Dreaming ballerinas, dancing swans and butterflies.
It's a good song. And I might. That was Nobuko from top to bottom, and it was Juan Perez on acoustic bass, right? Double bass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun. That was the first person when we started writing the song, I said, Juan, come over here. We got to rehearse it. Figure out this song. It was fun. We just the two of us in the studio at first, recording it, and then other layers happened afterwards.
Sure did. Yeah, stories, right? It's all about stories and telling these, incredible stories coming straight out of our communities. I just love the magic that the two of you make together in your music and much more. Again, folks, all of our audience here, this particular song you just heard is not on the forthcoming album, but it's a stay tuned kind of situation for what's going on with the Sounds of California project. And again, evidence that there's such like beautiful ongoing work between so many of these artists, and especially Nobuko and Juan. I'm kind of feeling like it'd be nice to turn to questions from the audience. What do you think? Or do you have any sort of wrap up thoughts or comments, either of you?
Well, for me, I feel very lucky and privileged to have met Nobuko in this journey. I don't recall the first time, but I think the first time I saw her was in this theater in Middle Tokyo, the Japanese American theater. And I think that was the first time I met her. Anyways, fast forward, the whole Fandango Obon thing, and I've participated in a handful of those, and wow, what that turned into is a monster, from this amazing living breathing thing, right? As you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very lucky to have crossed paths with someone like Nobuko.
Well, I feel the same. It's really helped me grow as a musician, and just to feel that there's no limits to what we can create together. That we have a language that goes beyond our culture, and we learn so much from each other beyond our own worlds, by making music together. And it's just been a lot of fun for me. I hope it's not the last.
No, definitely not.
But I keep telling Juan, he's got to create his own. He's got so many stories. I want him to see, Boyle Heights from his bass and his instruments, just bloom and come out into the world. So, but anyway, I have so many friends, and we have friends out there. I want to hear from, and I want to see, and thank you just for coming, first of all, to joining us today. It's really a pleasure and a joy to be able to share this with you all. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, I'm going to go to gallery view. Boom, we've got 63 people here. I'm not exactly sure how to handle this, but do any of you have questions? Maybe you could put it in the chat.
Well, a question, will this event be taped? You're being taped. Will it be on some place we can send it to friends? You're going to have a link to it?
Yes, it will be on.
Yeah, where will it be?
It will be on Great Leap's website. Great Leap has a website, and also I have a website, nobukomiyamoto.org, and it'll be on that website as well. And maybe on the Smithsonian if they want to put it on their website as
We can
well.
see. We can
Yeah.
see for sure. Great leap.
So yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for asking, Robert. Oh my gosh, we have a great question here. Nobuko, when does your book come out?
Oh,
From Marta Gonzalez is asking.
oh my God, authoress. So yes, so it happens that I also have a book coming out. It's going to be coming out in June. UC Press is publishing it. And thanks to my editor, Deborah Wong, uh, and people who've encouraged me. Actually, Grace Lee Boggs was the one who encouraged me to write this. And so it became like a project that I had to complete because it was an assignment. And I did it. It took me
Homework from Grace Lee Boggs.
yeah. So Grace Lee Boggs has, has extends into my life, definitely, and to my work.
Hmm.
And I have to say, I've read it and it's gorgeous. Everybody has to go out and get their copy right now, or you can pre-order it. And it's just beautiful. The prose, the stories, the history that is in it. I highly, highly recommend it.
Oh, Marta.
Thank you, Marta. And Marta has a blurb on the back cover. We're looking for, we're just thrilled that you're part of it.
Marta also has a book that we
Thank you.
that talks about the beautiful music that she's been part of. Martha is a partner in of Fandango Bon from the very beginning. Martha, just tell the story. Tell the title of your book.
Mm.
Oh, it's called Not Yo Butterfly.
No, that's
No. Oh,
Oh,
I wish. What a beautiful book, Nobuko. I love you so much. Thank you so much. My book is called Chicano Artivistas, Music Community and Transborder Tactics. And of course, I talk about, and there's a chapter there that I speak a lot about Nobuko and how influential she has been in my life. And so I just want to say that the cross collaboration continues. And I'm so proud of Nobuko, her beautiful album, which I've heard, of course, and as well as this wonderful book that everybody has to go out and get.
so.
Love you, Nobuko.
Oh, I love you. So Martha, of course, was the co-author of the first Fandango Bon song, Bambutsu, which I see Carla there. Carla sang on it, and Asia, and all of us have been part of Fandango Bon to that we collaborated on this piece called Bambutsu, which means all things connected. And that little piece became a big festival and also connected in Obon Festival. And thousands of people are dancing to that song as a result, and in Spanish, English, and Japanese. And so that's been an incredible border crosser, another border crosser, right, Marta? A way of reaching out to across communities in this time when they don't want us to reach across. We're doing it through music.
Yeah. I just want to say that it's like we're at this beautiful moment where the stories of LA and connections between different communities are being told in so many different ways, right? Through the music, certainly, through the music. And then there's also the fact of Marta's book and Nobuko's book and Ruben Funkawat Guevara's book. And, these stories are now being told in this really essential way. And the stories are coming from the people who live these histories, right? It is just like, it's such a beautiful moment. Yeah. We have another question in the chat from Mina Natarajan. She asks, Nobuko, it's clear that you are the spirit of collaboration. I agree, Mina. Who has been influential in your life?
Well, Reverend Kodani, who is the person who brought me into Senjin Buddhist Temple and allowed me to siege dance there, to create there in South LA. First, I want to, call his name out because
Mm.
Godani, Mas, we call him Reverend Mas, has been responsible, including for Bambutsu, so many songs that we've written, and the idea really of that we're all connected. I learned this through being in the temple, through creating there and watching taiko being created, and growing my son, listening, sleeping on the floor while taiko drumming was going on. That this is the place that I learned about collaboration, and how community is so important to sustaining us. Without that community, without the community that right here, I see in front of me, and from New York, PJ, Hirabayashi, so many people who have been part of this collaborative story. Kenny Endo, oh my God, there's Kenny. Kenny's on the
Right
album
there.
also. Kenny plays on 2 of the songs on the album. Um, Kenny, master daiko player. PJ Hirabayashi, also master daiko player,
PJ.
was one of the authors of what's the song? of what's the song we wrote
She's
together?
thinking too.
PJ, where are you?
She's right there.
PJ, what's the name of our song? Unmask yourself.
Unmask, unmute.
Unmute yourself. Um,
Oh, she can't, and I can't either.
uh,
She's thinking. You're both thinking.
why can't
From
I?
the Triangle Project, and you've done such great work together.
Yes. So Yoko and her. So many
Sorry, Ichigo, Ichie.
Ichigo, Ichigo.
Ichigo, Ichie.
Kenny played on. Actually, I think that it's so much fun to collaborate. I'm not personally that creative, but when I get with other people, that's when the juice starts flowing. Or when I think even about other people, that's when the juice starts coming. That I say, oh, this is going to work, and it's all about trusting that moment of the unknown. That's so much fun. It happened first with Chris Ijima. I have to bring him in the space because without Chris, I wouldn't be here at all. Chris is the reason why the first person who picked up that guitar and we wrote that first song. And so that magic really comes from that connection of people, that connection of ideas, connection of people, and seeing that magic jumps across borders, jumps across human beings. We thrive because of that juice that we all make together.
So true. And I'm looking around this Zoom room and seeing so many of you have been part of this greater project, right, of connecting community, making these sounds, dancing these dances together. It's just like such a beautiful thing to look out at all of your faces.
Yeah.
Again, we've been here together today to celebrate the release on January 29th, 2021 of Nobuko Miyamoto's new album, 120,000 Stories from Smithsonian Folkways. We are so grateful to Smithsonian Folkways for their effort, and particularly grateful to Sojin Kim, the main curator for this album, who just worked heroically and tirelessly to put it together and make it come out. This is a double album, everyone. I encourage you to buy it in any way, shape, or form, hard copy, digital, it's all there for the having about 6 weeks from now. I should also say that the cool thing about Smithsonian Folkways is that it's a forever commitment. Once Smithsonian Folkways records something, it will be available forever. It will not go out of distribution ever. So Nobuko and all of the many amazing artists on this album are now part of the Smithsonian Institution and are there as part of our histories, right? So thank you so much, everyone, for coming today. We are grateful for everyone who made all of this possible. Happy birthday to Maceo Hernandez, who I see right in front of me right now. Yeah. And this is the conclusion of our program for today. I think I might just leave the room open for any of you who might want to catch up. Okay. Again, thank you for coming. Thank you to Nobuko and Juan for sharing your stories today.
Thank you, Juan. Thank you, so many of you. If anybody wants to say hang out here, I'll be here for a minute, for a little.
I have a call. I wanted to say hi and send my love and congratulations to you.
Oh, Julie. Oh, this is my sister-in-law, Julie.
Oh,
I'm so happy to see you. You know I love you.
I love you too. Oh my gosh.
And
There's
I'm
so
gonna
many.
get the album, and I can't wait to get the book. I want an autographed copy.
Well, you're mentioned in it anyway.
I love the show, and I'm so glad I could see you and be here to see you.
Thank you for being here. Liz, we have New York here in the house. Liz, oh my God. I haven't seen, I was supposed to come visit you and then COVID happened, right? Gosh. And Detroit, I mean, Ann Arbor is in the house. There's Kamau and Asia.
Hi, Ma.
Hey, Grandma, congratulations.
Nice songs. I'm learning all this new stuff all the time. Yeah. Good doing.
And
thanks
here's
for all your help, Asia.
Carla's here. Carla's
Oh,
on the album. Both Asia and Carla sang on the album.
Mhm.
Martha sang on the album. We sang Somos Asiáticos. She added the
Yeah,
ending to that. Oh, my
cover.
God,
A
so
new version of a classic song, Somos
that was
Asiáticos.
so-
Yeah.
So that's a song that was originally on the Grain of Sand album,
Mm.
and we brought it up to date, right, Marta? Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Curtis, hi, how are you? And Kenny and
Curtis Rooks.
Kelly, yes.
Want to say congratulations, Nobuko. So
Oh,
excited for your book and so honored to be a part of the project.
oh, yes, it was fun to record it, and now Carla and I and Johanna and Tamika Miller of Lula Washington's, we're working on a new piece called 8 minutes 46 seconds that we're trying to accomplish in the middle of this pandemic. So even though we're separated, we're not stopping. So hi, Maceo. Happy birthday. DJ, love you.
Hi, Nobuko. Congratulations. Sounds
Thank-
great. It's wonderful.
Thank you.
Good job, Juan. Can't wait for your solo album, Juan.
Yes, solo
Yeah,
next.
please.
And Phil, happy birthday. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
Yes. Who else? The Patty, my friend, Patty. Hey, Patty.
Oh,
And Lily and Kathy. Kathy's been there from the beginning.
mm.
Jenny.
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 Hi. Everything sounds great. Can't wait to see the book and the video
So
or album.
Jenny and Tony were there in Detroit. We were all there working, right? That's where we learned from Grace Lee Boggs. Yeah. So Grace is in the room. Grace is definitely in the room with us. Hey, Bob.
Where can we pre-order the book?
Oh, thank you for asking. Let me put that back in the chat. From UC Press or Amazon or, any of those places. Yeah.
Okay,
It's on Amazon, believe it or not, already.
Yeah.
fantastic.
Crazy.
We're going to circulate this a little bit around LA High. We're getting ready to, we had an 80th birthday party for those of us that graduated in 1958. And we had about, 100 people there.
Wow.
Judy was part of it. And we are now trying to work on how to expand the help in the community to LA High School. When I went, Juan's comments really struck home for me. I went to Virgil Junior High School, and 1,300 students, 1,100 were in music, and they were given free instruments. I'm trying to think of Juan having to carry a bass home, but I guess, I don't know what, he got a violin. It's easier than a bass. And I was the second violinist, and then the concertmaster of the orchestra. Roy Tanabe became went from Virgil to being the concertmaster of second violins at the LA Philharmonic for years.
I
And he
remember
was in
that.
charge of all their music doing. I was no good. I could sing. I couldn't play the violin.
You could sing. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the a cappella choir at LA High with Mrs. Hutchison.
Oh, I never did that.
Yeah, well, you were in Barnacles and Bilgewater. You were in the show.
I was. I don't remember.
Yes, and I sang "Some Little Bug Is Going to Find You Someday." Unfortunately, that's very prescient now.
Well, I still live a stone's throw from LA High School, so I see it. When I drive, almost. Well, I don't drive much now, but I see it often. And
We'll rope you into something to help the students there now. They need it.
okay.
So we'll talk later.
Hey, Juan, maybe we could do something over there for them.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah, at the Corwin Theater. There's a theater that Bruce Corwin
Wow.
was sponsored, and his family. So
Cool. All right.
Awesome.
Ken is there from Ken Hayashi is my oldest little brother, whose family lived with us in Ogden, Utah.
Oh,
during
really?
that days. And Ken is in my book also because he was born when we were together in the house. So he's my oldest friend. We thought we were brothers and sisters, right, Ken?
Yeah, for most of my life.
Yeah,
My dead son.
and Ken is on our board of directors, Great Leaps board of directors now, so we have never separated. He's my oldest known, in the space.
Oh, that's lovely.
And my son and my granddaughter. So this is like the future. Kamau just had his birthday a couple days ago, 47. Happy birthday. I haven't talked to you since. And Asia there, she designed the flyer and she was on the album as well. We sing the last song on the album together, me and Asia. So
All this family, we're all family. It's like everyone, it's a reunion right now.
it is a reunion. It is a reunion.
How's it going, Juan?
How's it going, man?
Good.
There you go. Okay. My vision's not so good.
Okay.
It's a lot of little squares.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but yes, so it means a lot to me that New York is here, because New York is really the place I woke up and have friends and we marched together and woke up together and it's a place of great meaning to me.
There's another early days, Kenny Endo, there you are.
Yes.
These great photos of you from, Warriors, right?
Yes.
Back in the day.
And in LA, Warriors of the Rainbow, Kenny was our trap drummer, right? And
I
then
played taiko and percussion.
and taiko and percussion, but you were first a trap drummer, and then you adopted yourself to be the first taiko drummer who got your degree in Japan. You set the pace for everybody else.
Congratulations, Nobuko. It's been a great experiences, memories working with you all these years.
Yes, oh, thank you so much. Thank you. And Florence, there's Florence the gardener.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, Nobuko. I'm so sorry I'm late. I had a master gardener meeting on Zoom and I just got free of that. So
and there's an article about Florence in the LA Times will be coming out in the paper soon, but I think it's already in it's in the digital version already, but it'll be in the paper soon. About her work and LA green grounds, creating gardens around South LA in people's yards, like I have in my yard.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we hope we can get back into that once this, shutdown is over. We're in our teaching garden with 2 or 3 people at a time on several days. But yeah, to do a dig in, we would need 25, 30 people, in a 150 square foot area. So we can't do that for now, but I'm looking forward to eventually we'll all be able to spend time together.
Yes, yes. I mean, that's something that this year we weren't able to dance in a circle in Fandango Bon.
Yeah.
It really felt, or at Obon, and it really felt sad to miss that moment of being able to come together the way we've been doing for the last 8 years. And so
Yeah.
Maseo in the middle playing taiko.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah. So I guess we do have to part. And Darren, there's Darren. Darren, our photographer, who's done such beautiful photos for the album and for Fandango Bon as well.
Congratulations, Nob. Congratulations.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, bye. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, thanks for coming, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks
It's
to
bye.
Deborah, to
Beautiful.
Sonia.
And did you take a picture of this? We should take a picture.
Real quick, don't go anywhere. Wait. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Got it. Good catch. All right, bye, everyone.
Thanks, Deborah, for doing this.
Save the chat if you want. Also, you can save the chat.
It's a great souvenir. I will. Bye.
Since I was late, could I ask how do we get your album, Nobuko?
It doesn't come out until the 29th of January, but you can pre-order it on the Smithsonian site, and or you can wait until Great Leap is a fundraiser, and we're trying to use it as a fundraiser of Great Leap. So if you're on our mailing list, you'll receive that, and I'll have a signed copy of it.
Well, it's very exciting. Congratulations to you.
Thank you. Hi, Donna.
Who's always there. Hi.
We have a lot of great leaders here.
I know.
Yeah.
Hi.
You look beautiful.
She does.
Nobuko, I remember riding the bicycle from Olympic Boulevard to Boyle Heights for meetings.
Oh my God.
Back in the 70s.
Wow.
Well, Elizabeth, that's a short ride for Elizabeth, because Elizabeth actually rode a bicycle from New York City to Los Angeles.
Wow.
Wow.
How long did it take you?
Oh, about 3.5 months. Actually, we went from New York to Seattle, down Highway 1 to San Francisco. I got off the bike and shipped it to LA. And then we got back on.
What year was that you did that?
74.
74.
Yeah.
So that was right after I moved out back to LA.
Yeah. I had to come and be with you, Nobuko.
Well, that was a hard way to do it. But can you imagine crossing the Rockies on a bicycle? That's what she did. Oh, seeing her thighs and her legs afterwards. She has the strongest legs. Really, you were stronger than Kenny, right? You could, at the end, you got stronger than he was. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I stayed with Grace Lee Boggs in Detroit. I didn't know her, but we had arranged overnights at people throughout the Asian community. So we stayed with her one night.
Oh my gosh.
With Grace Lee and Jim Boggs. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I thought I was being polite because I was, sitting there as I was raised. And then she gave me a criticism and self-criticism before we left. And she said to me, "You have to get up and volunteer and help out more." I thought I was being polite. Got it. Yes, ma'am.
Wow. Wow.
So Grace Boggs, she connected us from the beginning to the end. She's still with us. That's wonderful. And Diane Mark. Diane, are you here? Where are you, Diane? From Hawaii. Oh my goodness.
Maybe not anymore.
So we have people from Hawaii, from
Oh,
New
yeah.
York, from LA, from San Jose, PJ from San Jose.
Mm.
Hey, Amy. Amy's there. Amy, Bokahashi Queen, who's teaching us how to be better composters. Yeah. So, Judy, it's been a long time since I've seen you, Judy Donan. My goodness. I don't. You're silenced, right? I mean, you're on the. Judy went to Elia High School. We went to high.
Oh.
I have to just say that your spirit, the magical, halo, everything that you had when you were 16, 17 years old, it's 10 times more now. It's phenomenal, Nobuko. I'm just flabbergasted to see you at this age, which it's a secret, but it's so radiant. It's radiant. You're radiant. So hallelujah.
Yes.
Oh gosh. Well, Lily, there's Lily. Lily's there. Hi, Lily. Wow, what a community. This is an amazing experience to do this. We're going to do another one, right, in January?
I hope so.
So the second song is Not Your Butterfly, which is actually the title of the book. And we don't have a music video made of it yet, but we'll figure out something interesting to do with it before January 20, or before the beginning of January. Yeah.
Is that a reference to Madame Butterfly?
Absolutely. Not your Madame.
Not your
Not your butterfly.
Love it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was not the original title of the book. It was, the working title was What Can a Song Do? Because each chapter was based on a song. But the editor, what do you call him at UC Press? He didn't like that title, which I didn't.
Senior editor.
About it either. And then finally he kept pushing us and pushing us. And when I went back and looked at the album, I saw that title. I said, oh, maybe this will work. So then we picked the song from the second song on the album.
Yeah, that's a good title.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks again, everyone, for coming. And let's leave them wanting more, right? So yeah, thanks again for coming. Just and Nobuko, the great connector. Right?
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Well done, Juan. Well done, Nobuko. Bye for now. Bye.
Thank you, Deb. Thank you, Noel.
This is great fun.
Yeah.